Today on Shift Happens, I'm joined again by Thais Eliasen. She is someone who deeply understands the power of sharing your story. We're diving into what happens when you stop hiding behind your pain and start using it as your purpose. Because here's the truth, your story carries healing, not just for you, but for the people who need to hear it. And when you step into that truth, it can also open doors for opportunity, connection, and yes, even profit. In this conversation, we'll talk about the courage it takes to own your story, how storytelling becomes a pathway to freedom, and why no one else can replicate what you've lived through. Thais and I are going to unpack the beauty, the rawness, and the transformation that comes when you finally stop running from your past and start embracing it. So, if you've ever wondered, does my story even matter? This episode is going to remind you that it absolutely does. Thais, welcome back to Shift Happens.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Back again, because you loved the first time. You were like, I love Alexis so much, I need to come back.
Yes, definitely. That's what it was.
I'm like, no. Well, today I'm excited because, last time you were here, we got really deep into your personal story and you shared a lot of things that you hadn't before. And today we really want to talk about the power of sharing stories, how we can build and use our story for profit even and for impact and purpose. And so it's a different type of podcast, and I'm excited just to really share and hopefully inspire so many listeners to walk in their purpose today.
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
When we were chatting and you had first told me like, oh, I never even told this part of my story before on the prior podcast, what was the turning point for you where you realized that your story had power?
Like on the podcast,
or
no, just generally,
just in life, where you're like, okay, I've gone through so much crap, and I could let this derail me or use it.
Yeah, I think it was when I have to check back on the date, but it might have been 2021 or 2020. Where I went on a women's conference in Dallas, Texas, and there was this woman speaker on stage, Michelle Schaefer, and she shared part of her story, and that completely changed my life in the moment because I understood how her story was used by God for a huge transformation in her whole environment. It wasn't just in her mind and her heart, but her family, her friends, her business. And I thought, oh my gosh, like God's not done with me. There's so much he can still do. And it was because of her story. And because I heard her personal story, I then started thinking, wait a minute, there's so much more that I now believe God can do with all of it.
Yeah. And isn't that so crazy? Because I think so many times when we go through the muck, like our own stuff, we're like, we're alone. No one's going to understand what we've gone through. Or there's so much shame tied to it so that we don't want to share our story. And then you hear from another person that they've gone through something similar, or look what God did to transform my life. And it's like that aha moment where it's like, oh, I could do the same. My story can have impact. My life can be different. That I can also be like the people that I'm looking at up on stage, or that I'm listening to on a podcast or on social media, right? So much power in that.
Because I think many times we look at people and we just think, oh my gosh, they have it all together, because you haven't really heard their story. And some people, everyone has a different walk, and we don't walk the same alike, but there are similarities. But how will people know if we don't talk about it?
So I totally agree.
I think that the power, and I think it was a process. I loved seeing and hearing her own her story. And mind you, her story is incredible. There's so much pain. There's so much shame. So many tears were shed. There was not one dry eye in that room. And when I was so impacted by that, and I thought, she had the guts to share all of that. And he really touched me to move forward. I can't keep it quiet, because that's when I started. I knew that God was not done with me, but when I was shook to doubt, her story was what really brought me to light and like pushed me forward.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I like also what you said about like just looking at people on social media. It's so easy to be like, they have it all together. They have the perfect family, or they're so cute, or they have it, whatever, this type of lifestyle. Could never be me, and it's in the sharing of our story that we become real people, we become relatable, and people are able to say, oh, okay, like your problems are the same as mine. Like we're all just humans trying to figure it out, honestly.
I think that we usually expect people to be that open and vulnerable, but then we aren't. So I always think if I want something, it has to start with me. And yes, it's vulnerable. Yes, there are risks of being heartbroken or
Rejected.
Maybe sharing with the wrong person and they use that against you. All of that is valid and it's true.
Yeah.
But if we don't get there, I have a new friend in my life and she and I met last year and it's just such a beautiful friendship. And one of these days I texted her and I said, girl, I don't want us to be just friends when everything is beautiful and, and we're just sharing the fun stuff. I want you to know that I'm here for when things get rough.
Yeah.
And by the way, let me tell you something. This last week, I went through something really hard. And I don't take pictures of me like suffering and crying.
No,
but sometimes I do.
Yeah. I only have one video of me crying, and I've reused that video on social media to prove a point.
Yes.
But it's so true. Yeah.
I
Sometimes
actually
you did. So you did it.
But I think I actually recorded it because I wanted to remind myself that there are these hard moments and somehow God just pulls me out of them,
Yeah.
So I sent her that and I was like, it was really hard. And let me tell you what happened. She's like, oh my gosh. And then a few days later, it's just being vulnerable is hard.
Yeah.
But you got to start somewhere and it has to be with yourself because you can't do it for other
100%.
people.
Sometimes I feel like we deceive ourselves too. Like we don't even want to believe our own story sometimes, honestly. Like when I think back to like, even calling certain things like abuse. I think for me, I can only speak for my own personal story, but growing up, I never would be like, oh, I'm getting abused by my stepmom. That would never be the language I would use because then that would make me feel, one, like it was bad, like I was living in a bad circumstance, and two, that I was a victim. And so I never wanted to be identified as that. So I think that sometimes we deceive ourselves into believing it's not that bad. Or like, I don't want to name that. I don't want to share my story because what does it mean when I actually share my story? Is it like, how do I frame it?
Yeah.
What words do I use? The language is so powerful. And so for me, I had to actually look at my childhood, do the inner work first, and then say, okay, call it what it is. And if, for me, mainly emotional and mental abuse, but it's calling it that because there's so much freedom in actually calling it what it is.
Yes.
The person before you that came in, she has battled addiction for most of her life. And she would always say that she would deceive herself into being like, oh, I'm not an addict. I'll go to these AA meetings. They feel good, whatever. Oh, yeah, maybe I drank too much that day, but it's not that big of a deal.
It's like you play it down.
Right?
Yeah.
To play it down. But then when you own it, and she's like, I'm an addict. It almost like takes the power away of the hurt or the pain. But then you also are able to walk into that story and share it more effectively.
Yeah.
Versus if I was like, oh yeah, my stepmom kind of said some mean things sometimes, but oh well. Like that doesn't hold as much power as me saying, no, she was emotionally and verbally abusive and that was wrong. But I think when we live in this type of chaos, we think it's normal. And so we don't put that verbiage to it. And so there is so much power in being real with ourselves first, leading with the vulnerability. But in order to lead with the vulnerability, we have to be honest with our story first.
Yeah.
Right? And process it.
And looking at all of that, when you think of being desensitized by sin, it's almost like it just makes your feelings and your mind and the way you process kind of numb to all of it. And it's wrong. Because if you don't feel it, if you don't address it as it is, you cannot get to the root of it and fix it, which is ultimately exactly what the enemy wants.
Yep.
So
there's no healing.
It's a powerful thing to be vulnerable and to own it and to call it as it is.
How did you feel after your podcast with me? Did you feel a sense of healing?
Oh, yes. But I almost felt like
sick,
naked.
Exposed.
Yeah, exposed. That's a better way of saying it.
No, we'll take naked too. Naked, exposed. No, but that's so true because you're almost like shedding a part of yourself and being like, this is me.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Someone asked me, how did you feel when you received the questions? And I explained that I hadn't read the questions before I came in. And when I looked at them, I was like, if I had read them, I was not going to be there. But yeah, I felt so exposed, funny. And it's incredible because I did not have time to prepare for anything.
You had just gotten back from a trip.
Yeah. I'm always back from a trip.
I know.
I just came back from New York today.
Oh my gosh.
I was thinking before I answered, obviously, but I wanted to be so honest without exposing other people, obviously.
Yes.
But for me, that was so healing because the truth will always set you free. And I did have it in mind. I know that this is going to upset a few people and a few dear people to my life. But at what cost do I keep them not upset? The cost of some of my freedom or healing? No. But it was a process.
Yes. I remember you texted me that morning and you said some people close to you did have an issue with some of the things that you were saying on the podcast. I think that that's such a good word to communicate to the listeners, is that in sharing your truth in your story, there's going to be people that are offended by your story. Absolutely. My dad, he follows me on social media on all of my platforms. And I never directly say my dad didn't do this or that, but it's in the talking of my childhood and the talking of my stepmom or the talking of my accident when I was a little girl that he feels called out or attacked, right? And has told me numerous times that I overshare, that I need to just kind of be quiet. That and not everyone needs to know that I did drugs or whatever. It's like those little statements. But in the end of the day, it's not his story to share.
Yeah.
It's not his. And honestly, what he's feeling is something that he needs to deal with himself. Does that make sense? With his own healing journey.
Yeah.
And this is the way that I'm healing and I'm processing it. And this is the way that I'm going to make an impact with people. And so I definitely want the people that are listening to this to know there will be opposition. There will be. Yeah. People will think that you're sharing your story for attention. People will think that you're sharing your story, to make someone else look bad, right? Or to appear a certain way. But it doesn't matter. You just have to stay so true to your why and why you are sharing that story, that nothing else matters.
I did think, though, that as I shared, that could be healing to someone. But honestly, it was the greatest gift to me after so many years. I mean, almost 9 years.
Wow.
To finally feel, okay,
wow,
I own this. I can talk about it. In talking about it, there was so much healing in different areas of my heart. And I'm very grateful. Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for sharing. I'm a firm believer of the power of sharing your story. And it really does set people free. It does. It sets people free. I think that the enemy wants to use our story as bondage.
Yeah.
To keep us in chains and shackled to shame. When Jesus is like, I've redeemed you. Yeah. You are my daughter. You are the apple of my eye. You're my beloved. I left the 99 for the one. You are the one, right? And we are called to be disciples. And one of the ways that we can be disciples is through our testimony. And what I love about our testimony or our story is that no one can refute our story. Mm-hmm. It's yours and yours alone.
There's no one way, the other way, this point of view, that point of view. It's yours.
It's yours. It's what you can actually claim, right? Powerful. Did you ever feel like your story wasn't big enough or worthy enough to share? Or no? Or did you always know you actually had something?
Until all this stuff happens, I did think, it's pretty average. There's, whatever. I don't have those testimonies that you go on stage and everybody's crying. Not that I wanted to have one.
I don't know. I feel like you have a lot of twists and turns in your story.
But then I started having some twists and turns in my story. So,
I feel like for everyone that's listening that hasn't listened to Thais's episode, please go back and listen to it because it does have a lot of twists and turns and it's highly relatable.
Yeah.
So I think absolutely you're one of those people on stage. That's you even diminishing the power of your story.
No, but I mean, I think now that it could be something.
Okay, now that you've been sharing it, you see the power.
Yeah, I think I think is a story, is the thought of you never fully understand God's grace until you need it. And the need of a God's grace, like more than you need your air to breathe, is something so powerful within your bones, your being, your identity, that any story that you have come to this point is a story worth sharing. And if you haven't, and if you don't have it, it's because you haven't come to this point and you need Jesus, like we all do. It's not like we need Jesus.
Yeah.
Because there's no way to tell a story without the redemption of a Savior that did something for us that we could never do it for ourselves. No money, no fame, no social media, no anything. There's like nothing. This is it.
I just saw a post yesterday where it said, don't just share your story that points to the blood, that doesn't lead to the past, but points to like his glory or like what he's done in your story. And I feel like that is such a good reminder for us, because it's easy. And even for me, like I can be like, well, this is my childhood, or this is what happened here or there. But it's like, well, what has God done in that? And that is the power of the story. What God has done to redeem and to turn beauty into, or ashes into beauty. And I just loved that when I saw it the other day. I was like, oh, that's such a good reminder. Like, we don't have to just talk about the story or the past. It's what did the blood do in the story? What did Jesus's blood do through it? And it helps us keep our gaze on God, when a lot of times when we're walking through the pain, it's so easy to lose sight of God and to kind of like sit in our misery.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Definitely. When you were sharing your story, what emotions first started coming up in you? Like as you were sharing in the podcast?
I think I felt kind of like held by God, almost like he was saying, it's okay. You know, I've carried you through. But I felt it because now I'm talking about something that's in the past. I'm not in the emotions of it. I also did feel I felt powerful in a way that knowing I would have never survived without God gives me so much power. It's, you know, in scripture, it's in our weakness that we are made strong. And there's a song, a church hymn in Portuguese that we used to sing growing
Go ahead,
up.
sing it.
Oh no. And I never understood, because I remember thinking, how are you strong when you're weak? When are you rich when you're poor?
Yeah, you're like that doesn't make it make sense. That doesn't
nothing.
Make sense.
But it does make so much sense, because it's not. It's like the fountain, the source of your strength isn't. It isn't you, and it's only because of Him that you are strong. I would have never survived. And people are like, "You're so strong."
You're like,
I'm not.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Jesus,
yeah, it's the Lord.
There's like no way. I am very creative. I could sit here and name 20 other ways I would have dealt with all of it. You know, I thought about it.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
No, yeah, absolutely. Wow. No, I love that. What do you think surprised you the most about how others responded to your story?
Because a lot of people made it about themselves and not about me. And for once, I thought I was finally courageous to share. I found so much healing.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. And all of a sudden, it's all about you and how you felt unconsidered, or how you felt
Slighted.
Yeah. And I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about you. It wasn't even like, I'm sorry, but
yeah. At the end of the day, it landed how it landed for you in that time.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that those relationships haven't been rebuilt or reconciled, or that you don't love these people that are part of the story. It just means this is how you felt at that part of your story. And I think that if people can look outside of themselves and they can peer in and say, no, she was hurting then. She was hurting them.
But you know, Alexis, I think for me, I tried really hard to hear those comments and not feel hurt and not allow it to be hurt.
Yeah.
Because then it's a whole other thing that I don't want to deal with it, right? Yep. So I was focused on I finally, after all of these years, I never make it about my feelings. I have always put my feelings aside to focus in what I needed to focus to get stuff done, to raise 4 children, to live in California, to buy a house on my own, to try to find a job, a corporate job that I could build a career, and then to exit out of that and build my own business. I was like in just go mode.
Yeah.
So what I felt was, for once, I have the courage to come and share my story. I finally talk about my feelings and how I navigated through it all. Finally.
Yeah.
And this is what I get. Okay, then
But did you let it rob you of it? Did you let it rob you of the experience?
No. I was more shocked because I wasn't expecting that. I actually thought that I was going to be embraced and thought, you were so brave. We're so proud of you. But I didn't. But
But that's also just part of sharing your story on a public platform.
I think the first day I was shook, but then I was like, I have done enough therapy to know people see things in a different way. Yes.
And it just is not about you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the way that they are projecting, it is deeper within themselves. Just like I was talking about with my dad. It's like, it's something in them that they need to heal. And it's almost like they're looking at a mirror, like you're forcing them to look in a mirror.
Yes. And I watched it like 4 or 5 times to be sure that maybe I said something that this is how they're taking, and no.
Yeah.
It was, but I respect the feelings because we're all allowed to have them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree. Now you're in PR, and so you are very familiar with like the power of sharing stories and like how it does emotionally captivate people and it draws people in, and it's great for marketing, all the things. Why do you think people resonate more with stories than strategies alone?
Because it's more relatable. It's just like Jesus wanted to make a point. He started with parables. It's like, okay, let me tell you a story. You will remember. And you can see yourself in a lot of those stories versus somebody you know or a circumstance you're in or about to be in. So it's more memorable.
100%. Yeah. Versus like, well, here's my 3-step guide of XYZ of whatever. But if it's like, well, this one time I was walking, you know, and you do remember that, because there's so many times like, I've gone to like a lot of master classes. I've gone to a lot of conferences, and sometimes you can get lost in the strategy and the advice, but you will remember the one time that this one girl was like, oh, I was in my car and I went back in my car and had spinach in my teeth and, and I was humiliated, and that made me realize that I need to invent this thing or whatever. It's like you remember either a funny moment or a pivotal moment or a sad moment, like anything that's like a transition or a transformation in someone's life. It's a catalyst for change. Those are the things that you remember. And I love those because again, it goes back to the power of storytelling and the power of telling your story. And I think that sometimes like going back to like, when we're like, oh, did your story, was it big enough? Or are people actually going to care? Are people going to resonate with this? I think that even in you sharing yours and me being open with my own and getting DMs or getting the comments on the content that we posted, and people saying that they could relate, people saying, wow, like, so brave, or oh, like this happened to me too, or oh, like whatever it may be, it's proof that we as people, we yearn for this community. We yearn for other people to say me too.
I did get one message from somebody that was in leadership in a previous organization that I was in. And she wrote on behalf of her and her husband, and she said, Thais, I want to apologize because never in a million years we would imagine that leading by the book, like legalistically, it's what she meant to say, versus really assessing and seeing the situation with our hearts and with Jesus's eyes would have created such a huge impact. And I want to apologize. And I never expected that I would receive some. I did receive a lot of, I was trying to count before I came because I wanted to tell you, maybe about 32 to 34 messages from people from that time, all
That's
peers
wild.
or leadership. sending me messages, and it's people that didn't even need, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I knew I was there. You were always there for me. And I feel so bad that I wasn't there for you. Or, you know, it started a lot of good conversations. And if anything, I hope that this helps all of us to look at others from now on, because we can't do anything about the past, but from now on with different eyes.
As you've been listening to this conversation, you may be feeling like you want to share your own story, but maybe the thought of that overwhelms you or downright scares you. I'm here to encourage you. Your story matters, and I'd love to help you process and learn to share it to help others. Click the link in the show notes for coaching to get started. Wow.
Yeah.
What did that do for you when you were reading those messages? Did it bring more healing? Was it mixed feelings?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
I think the first message I got, I was like, see, you should have told me this 10 years ago, you know?
Yeah. That's very human and normal.
Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, I wish you did show up for me in that way.
But then I just thought how beautiful it is to see when something really touches people's hearts and they decide to be humble about it and talk about it, because it's hard. Nobody wants to talk about stuff. I don't like stuff either. I want happy rainbow unicorns and good red wine and just go, you know?
Yeah. No,
I don't like conflict at all. And I think that's why for a long time it wasn't. Someone asked me actually after the podcast, Thais, do you feel in your heart or in your mind somewhere that you for a time dealt with like people pleasing, being a people pleaser? And I said, never. I think for me is more being the peacemaker, and I would accept to just shovel all the feelings that I might have felt in order to keep the peace in the ambiance. I wasn't necessarily creating a storm inside of me.
But isn't that a form of people pleasing? If you're not speaking up, if you're like stuffing all the feelings because you don't want to ruffle, you don't want to like.
It wasn't, but so it wasn't causing a storm inside of me. It was just like, oh, whatever.
Okay,
I don't really
it's
care.
almost like you overlooked it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. It was more like, it's okay. I would validate your feelings, do everything for you to be comfortable.
But that never led to resentment?
No.
Oh, that's so interesting.
I am not a resentful person. I'm scared that I would ever become one.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stuff I need to work through. This is not one of them. Thank God.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
No, I get that. That makes sense. Huh. So I'm glad that the podcast and the sharing of your story was really revealing. It sounds like there was healing. It sounds like there was like perspective changes, and then people.
I actually screenshotted all of them. I want to show you. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see them
later.
Let's read them.
Let's read them.
Go get her phone. No. Oh my gosh. Many people want to make an impact, but they feel guilty about making an income from their story. What would you say in regards to that? Especially like, I know like from a PR perspective, but just even from a personal perspective.
Yeah. I mean, we live in a world that we need to pay for things. So I think it's wrong to monetize for the wrong things.
Yeah.
Like
or
the obvious
motive.
ones. Yeah. But no, if you have a dream, a calling, a career made out of on your name, go write a book, tell your story.
Yeah, tell it.
Because it's just another way of sharing and spreading the story.
Absolutely.
You know, something that I have been thinking about since last time, because someone asked me if I took a leave from work or a vacation or while I was going through those trauma moments. And I said, what? Excuse me?
It's a leave.
If anything, what's a leave? But if anything, I had to keep going. And I don't believe that you have to go until you burn out. My body usually sends me a migraine because I will not stop. I will go without eating, without sleeping, without water, without rest. But then there's a migraine and there's nothing I need to. And if it gets to that point for me, it's like 3 days that I am miserable, like throwing up,
Really?
It's like somebody is like hammering my head really hard. I need to be in a cold room with no sound, no sunlight, but I have 4 children. So how do you do that, right?
Oh my gosh.
It's really hard. So I try not to get to those points. I'm learning.
Yeah.
I wake up at 5 every day, but I'm trying to go to sleep at 9. So there's good hours of sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the same time, so there's, it's like a seesaw. It's not go until you die, but it's not like stop and just
stay, like, stuck
be
or
miserable
paralyzed.
forever.
Yeah.
And let whatever is spinning you down, pin you down. There are 3 words that I live by no matter what. And that is, I build anyway. In my dad's language it's our job to sow. The harvest is in God's hands. And that's in every season. Because if you don't do your due diligence in your work, regardless of what it is, in every season, then you're going to have seasons that you're dry.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with it? And that's in every aspect of
that's a good word.
Life. So
yeah.
I'm tired, I build. I'm scared, I build. Do I feel unqualified? I build. Oh, did they call me on a stage to speak to 30 people, to 300 people, to 3,000 people, and I feel overwhelmed or whatever? I build. When you think about everyone that is a champion, they weren't born champions in whatever they're championing in life for.
Yeah.
They were built. And if you look at their schedule, the things that they had to say no so that they could focus in what they're doing, it's discipline, right?
Yeah.
You have to build anyway. So from those difficult moments in my life to now, I'm still at the end of, I hope the end of a really rough season, with the elections and tariffs, prices from different countries coming in. It affected a lot of businesses. It did affect mine too. And the unknown and all of that. And it's very discouraging. And I have children, I have bills, I have a staff, just like a lot of people watching too. So what do you do when you get discouraged? I build anyway. I show up anyway. Michelle Schaefer, I'm going to mention her again. She's such an inspiration. She once said in a speaking engagement that I was with her at, that she has Zoom calls in her house. She puts on a suit. She fixes her hair. She makes sure she has her makeup on. I'm not saying those things are necessary. What I'm saying is you show up at your best. Whatever your best is, you show up as that, regardless of what's happening behind your, closed doors, in the back of your mind. You build anyway.
I agree.
I build anyway.
Do you have that tattooed on you?
No, but that's a good idea. We should get matching.
We should get matching. Yours can be in Portuguese and mine can be in Italian.
That's cool.
Yeah, because or I build anyway in English is fine too.
But in English is better than in Portuguese would be, I think. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what it is in either language, but it just sounds like it'd be cooler. It just sounds like I wish I could speak a different language.
But yeah, so when they're like, "Did you take a leave?" I'm like, I build anyway. Of course, I stop and I rest and I reset and I cry. I posted something last week that I got a lot of comments on.
What was it?
It's a reel of me going through a hard time.
Okay.
Did you watch that one?
I don't know. I didn't. Tell me more.
It's like 2 days ago.
Okay.
You're
like, are you not up on my social media? No, I'm sure I am. That's why I don't.
So it was just me at a restaurant.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Right. I said something like, I don't know, point of view. I don't know why, like, people don't believe I'm going through a hard season. Yes.
And
then it's like, this is me going.
This is how I look, or something like. Yes, I saw that.
This is me going through the hard season, just because
it doesn't look different.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
But that's the discipline. It's not again. I have been asked, "Do you fake it?" No, I don't.
You just have to show up anyways. You have to show up
2 weeks ago,
anyways.
I posted a scream. I said, "Put your volume up. This is what I want to do right now." And I tried really hard to find a really good girl scream. I can't even scream like that, but if I could, that's how it would be. And it was like, ah!
Yeah.
That was honesty. And
no, absolutely.
But I build anyway. oh, but aren't you tired? I build anyway.
Yeah, you're like, I'm tired, but
Yeah.
the show must go on. I have to keep going.
Kids are going back to school tomorrow, so I cleaned my house, made all the things so I could be here recording the podcast because I build anyway.
It is such a good reminder for people that may feel stuck. You know, something that's interesting is we use that word stuck so much that, and I had Jasmine Starr on here. I don't know if you know who that is, but
yes, she's awesome.
She was talking about how stuck is a mindset and how we are the ones that have to take the action. And it's almost like an excuse. Oh, I'm stuck, or I'm tired. I'm whatever, fill in the blank, right? But stuck is a common one, where you are the only one responsible for staying stuck. Yeah. You are the only one responsible for not building.
But most people don't take that responsibility. No. They don't own it.
They look at their circumstances.
It's always someone's
this is happening
fault.
to me.
Yeah.
This is happening to me, not for me. Yeah. And I think if we can shift the mindset of this is happening for me, not to me, there'd be a lot more growth.
I read something this week that said this: I am grateful that God destroyed. It was a little dramatic. Okay. I'm not saying God destroyed things, so don't come with the DMs. We know theology in the Bible. That's not what I'm saying. But the saying was, God destroyed this circumstance, so this circumstance or this relationship or this opportunity wouldn't destroy me.
Yes. I've seen something very similar to that, if not the same thing.
And then when on the lines of what you're saying, when we think about these things are not happening to me, they're for me, it changes everything, because you navigate what's happening like, okay, I thought this was the best for me. Clearly, it isn't. So what is the best? Let's refocus, reshift, change directions, and it's just fine. Exactly. You just, in Brazil, we're big in soccer. So when there's an expression we use when the soccer players are playing, they're almost making, the goal. You just kill the ball on your chest, swing this guy, so that you can absorb it and then get it to your feet and then make the goal. It's kind of like when being a big girl in this grown-up world for all of us would mean that many times we're going to get those balls, they're going to come to our feet, and then you're look at the goal, you're going to see who is in front of you. Sometimes you're meant to kick right straight ahead, sometimes to a different direction, but it's kind of like owning the circumstance, not like, oh, it hit me, what do I do now? Oh, no. It's different when you absorb it.
It's honestly, it reminds me of the victim versus victor mentality. We can choose to either be a victim or a victor, and the choice is ours. So just like you're saying with the soccer ball analogy, it's like it can hit us and we can be like, ow, it hit me, and now, oh my gosh, I'm on the out now, I'm on the bench. When really it's like, you have the power to be off the bench and play the game. Yeah. Right? But it's all perspective. It's all the way that we view our circumstances. That's the power, is how we view our pain, how we view our circumstances and our struggles, and being able to see God's hand guide us in that. Because we're not saying, and I want people that are listening to hear us say, we're not saying it's avoided pain or that it doesn't hurt. It hurts. And it's okay to say it hurts. It's okay to say, I feel discouraged, or I need to win. For sure, there's times where there are discouraging, heartbreaking, gut-wrenching moments in our life where we do not see a way out. And that is normal. I think it's then deciding what you're going to do with it that makes a difference. So we can either sit in that and have a pity party for ourselves, or we can rise above it. And sometimes I like to say, it's okay to feel those feelings. Take that day. Feel discouraged. Feel it. Sit and cry. Have that scream. Talk with that friend. Go to counseling. Whatever you need to do to feel it, because we do want you to process it. We're not just saying, well, you know what? That didn't matter. Yeah. Hustle. That didn't matter. Just show up. But no, we're saying it matters. Process it. But you still have to show up. Yeah. You still have to do the work to heal. You still have to do the work to show up as the best version of you. No one else is going to do that. So even in the showing up might look like doing the inner work to heal. It might look like, okay, maybe I have these meetings today at work and I am going to build and I am going to hustle, but building also looks like doing that work to confront the stories that we have told ourselves from a young age, or that other people have told us about maybe I don't matter, or I'm not smart enough, or pretty enough, or whatever enough. Maybe that's the building you need to do, is confronting those stories, those lies that you believed, and continuing to show up for your family, and continuing to show up for your self-care, all the other things, right? So I think it's important to know we're not saying it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
And we're not
And also that it's not going to look pretty.
It's not pretty.
I build anyways does not mean.
It doesn't mean you're glamorous.
Yes.
And you're doing it perfectly.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just like,
you
know
just
how sometimes
on.
you go working out and you just hate it and you don't want to do it.
No, you're not motivated.
Yeah.
You're like, why am I here?
So it doesn't look pretty all the time, but showing up is what really counts.
That's the difference.
Yes.
That is the difference.
Yeah.
100%. And I think it's also kind of like that discipline versus motivation, right? If we're constantly relying on motivation, well, I want to feel motivated to get out of bed. I want to feel motivated to take my kids to school. Imagine. I want to feel motivated to make dinner.
Do you know there's one thing that I am always motivated to do? 100%.
What?
Make coffee.
How do you drink your coffee? Are you a black girl? Like just black? Do you do espresso or what do you do?
Yeah, I have
you
espresso
look like
machine.
that. Like you would do espresso.
I have, it's an espresso, so it has little pods.
Yeah,
Please
yeah.
sponsor us. We would love you as a sponsor to
you know
our
what?
podcast.
That would be good for our podcast. For this podcast.
Spoiler. No, just
yeah, so we were going to join teams. I could see that happening.
But it's there's a Brazilian brand coffee called Pilão. They only have those pods in Brazil. So every time I go, I bring like 300. A friend of mine just brought me 100.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is it like you can really taste the difference?
Oh, it's so good.
Is it creamy or how is it like?
It's just perfect.
Okay, you
next time you'll have it.
Oh, yeah, next.
Yeah.
Us Americans, we don't have the pleasure of tasting.
But really,
coffee.
any coffee. I mean,
yeah.
I love black coffee. What about you?
I don't drink black coffee.
No.
No.
What do you drink?
No, I
like
drink
with milk?
with creamer.
With cream?
Yes.
Flavored
like
ones? Or
yes.
like vanilla?
Yeah, like vanilla, hazelnut. Girl,
Are you waiting for the pumpkin ones to come up?
I will for sure probably get the pumpkin.
Do you put sugar in it?
No, I don't put sugar. Okay. I just do like black coffee, or I also have the Nespresso pods as well. With that, I typically don't put anything in it. Sometimes I have the little drops, like the sweetener drops that you can buy at the store that are like hazelnut or like something like that.
But are your coffee flavored?
My coffee, my coffee is normal, and then I just put a creamer in there.
Got it.
That's a flavored creamer, and typically it's hazelnut or vanilla.
Okay.
Yes, and I pour that in there. Like you don't go to Starbucks, do you?
No, but if I have to, I just get an Americano.
Okay, so
which is 2 shots of espresso in hot water.
Yes.
Sometimes I have 3 shots.
That's going to be a no for me. What I do, I get a double shot of blonde espresso over ice, and then I add the vanilla sweet cream cold foam, the cold foam to the top of that with some cinnamon. That's what I typically drink. 2 shots of espresso over ice because I like to have some sweetness.
I do like the iced latte with a little bit of almond milk.
Oh, okay.
But no sugar.
I don't put sugar. I mean, well, I guess it's sugar. There's sugar in there. Are you a dessert person?
No.
I am. You seem disappointed. I'm like looking at her face and she's like, we're different. And I thought we were so much alike. We need to have some differences. We can't just be the same, Like I'll probably be the one that will get McDonald's late at night.
I actually just had it last night.
Really? Okay.
I have a rule. If I arrive at LAX after any trip after midnight,
McDonald's. Typically I'll do like In-N-Out because it's right there.
The line is too big.
It's so true. You're not wrong with that.
Yeah.
You're not wrong with that. What do you get at? What's your McDonald's order?
Quarter pounder with bacon. No pickles, no onion.
Okay, that threw me.
Why?
I don't know. I just think,
I was
like
going
a
to get a
cheeseburger.
salad?
No, but like I don't know, like something normal with bacon. I don't know. I don't eat pork.
What is normal?
I don't know. I do a cheeseburger.
It's the same thing. The quarter pounder. That's true. It's just bacon.
That's true. It's 2 patties, right?
No, that's
it's just
double
one.
quarter pounder.
Okay. Yeah.
I like the chicken one too.
Do you like the
McChicken?
Is spicy or no spicy?
It's spicy.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I actually like McDonald's breakfast. Have you ever had their breakfast? This is part of the story. This is part of the podcast. What?
McMuffins are delicious.
I do the sausage egg McMuffin.
They're good.
Fire with the hash brown with the orange juice.
I like them.
The thing is like people can hate on McDonald's, and I'm not saying it's healthy for you. We're not here saying it's healthy.
Either. It's just
it's nostalgic though, and I think it's the nostalgia,
like our childhood.
Yeah. I'm like,
and it always stays the same. So it's like you're back there. Yeah,
I'm back there, and and I just love it. Like I will.
What's your favorite fast food though?
I'll do. I mean, well, if I'm gonna do McDonald's,
no,
I'll do McDonald's.
Oh,
but
really?
no, In-N-Out.
Oh,
yeah.
Chick-fil-A is our home favorite.
Okay, so I was really big on Chick-fil-A. Then I got grossed out with some of the cartilage on the chicken. I could not eat the chicken that has little cartilage pieces, and it's like in your mouth, and you're like chewing on it, and it's like rubbery.
I like that.
Ew. And you like chew on it? Do you like swallow it?
I don't like fat.
It's like the same thing, except this is worse. This is like
No,
hard.
it's like a bone. It's like a white bone.
Yeah, it's a bone. And do you chew it? And,
I eat it. It's good for your bones. I swallow it. Anything that comes in my mouth gets swallowed.
Where is this going? Where is this going? No, I hate that. We're gonna keep it in there. No, but
I'm sweating.
Yeah, because you have visuals now. Okay, so Chick-fil-A. Why? Because it's Christian. You're like,
I just love the chicken. The chicken.
What do you get? The chicken nuggets. That's where I
get the chicken
nuggets. The grilled ones. Or
no,
the crispy?
The crispy.
Well, I was trying to be like all healthy. So when I would get the grilled chicken nuggets, they have the little cartilage pieces on them.
Oh, that's why.
It's the grilled.
I've never had them on the other one.
Oh. And it is
just get fried. That's a sign. Don't get grilled.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to be healthy.
What do you drink
even
there?
at Chipotle? I can't do Chipotle chicken anymore. It has the.
We're gonna get a lot of hate comments because people love Chipotle.
No, they love Chipotle and Chick-fil-A.
But we love Chick-fil-A.
I like Chick-fil-A fries. And I do like their chicken sandwiches. I just got turned off by it. But In-N-Out would be my number one. If I'm going to do fast food.
And what do you drink?
In-N-Out. I just do water.
Oh.
I'm a water girl. Like, I don't really drink soda at all.
I don't either.
I don't drink soda.
I do like the Chick-fil-A half sweet, half unsweetened.
Okay,
tea.
I do like the tea at Chick-fil-A.
You can buy a gallon.
I know, and I've done that. So I will do that. But with the or like at In-N-Out, sometimes I'll do a pink lemonade. Sometimes. But I'm just a water girl. Like, I don't really drink much. I can't tell you the last time I was like, oh, I'm gonna order a soda.
Do you drink wine?
Yeah, I drink wine. Yeah, I drink alcohol.
Cheers.
You're like, okay, so there's commonality. Well, we really took this to a different
I'm sure
level.
You'll figure it out. You're good.
No, but I think, it's all part of being real, right? And sharing our story and being relatable. And I think that is the power of storytelling, is being relatable. I'm sure there's so many people listening that are like, oh, I also hate when I get nasty chicken parts in my mouth. It's gross. Yeah. So it is the beauty of being relatable. And I do think that there's impact there. And one of the reasons why I had started my podcast, not even this one, I had one like years ago before COVID. Even.
Did you have guests or was
I had guests. It was called It's Not What It Seems. And it was called It's Not What It Seems because I felt like people would start looking at me. It was when when the Shift Creative was like really gaining a lot of traction. And I felt like I would get all these comments like, you're so perfect, or like perfect family, or like, I don't even know, just like all those comments. It started like getting to me.
Were you still married?
Yeah, I was still married. Yeah. And so then I was like, my life is not perfect. And I just wanted to be more real and like really pull back the curtain on my real life. And so that's why I started the podcast. It's Not What It Seems. And it was very similar to this. This is a lot deeper, but yeah, it just made me realize, like, even talking today, it's people think perception is reality, and it's just really not. It's just not the case. We can be going through it, like you said on that reel, and literally be like inside dying. Yeah. Right. And I think that that's why this podcast is so refreshing. And even these conversations, we can joke about McDonald's, we can talk about all this stuff, but we're all the same. Like, we're all just, there's highs, there's lows. We're all just trying to figure out how to navigate it. And if one of us or either of us can be a voice and be a source of encouragement, inspiration, and say, hey, I've gone through that and you can go through it as well, then that's what this is created for.
I was telling the son of a friend of mine last week that I think one of the most important things to me to teach my children and hopefully others with my story is that it's not how not to fall. Maybe that's for other people to do, because in my mind, there will be moments in life, in my point of view of life, that we will fall. Of course, we need to try and avoid it. But it matters more to me how you respond to that fall, because those are the pivotal moments on your life.
I agree.
If either of us had taken a different turn in how we got up from that, or not gotten up at all, we would both not be here, right? Mm-hmm. Can you say that too about yourself?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
So it's like, it's unavoidable. Nobody's going to go through life without falling once, whatever that might be, because we're all different. But how do we get up and continue? How do we continue to build anyway? That's what makes a difference.
And how do we choose to build anyway in like a healthy way?
Yeah.
Because I think, again, with the guest that I had before you, and it's just fresh in my mind, it's easy to cope with other things like alcohol or like drugs or like relationships or like even anything to the extreme, even if it's like physical exercise to the extreme, like anything that you're using to cope in a way that is unhealthy. I think that that's where the downfall is. So I think in the building, it's like, how are we building in a way that it is healthy and sustainable? And I think, I think that's the rub. I think that that's actually the tension that maybe I think I'm still trying to figure that out too, because I think sometimes it's like, yeah, build anyway. And I'm very much like that, but it's like, okay, I need that good balance of healthy building. I think that there's like a whole other component there of building.
And you have to be building the right thing.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying?
1000%.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You could be building, it's almost like two ladders.
Yeah.
You could be up here like, okay, I'm building. Like maybe it's work.
Yeah.
Building. And then over here, it's like, well, what about your spiritual life?
Yeah.
What about your kids? What about, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like identifying where you're building, how you're building, and what's going to be the best for you, for your family, and honoring to God.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So good.
But what do you think as we wrap up the whole thing about storytelling? What do you think prohibits people from sharing their story on like a platform like a podcast or on social media or writing a book? What do you think is the number one thing that prevents them from using their voice?
I think it's a fear of rejection. That can come in many forms. For example, bad comments, people not showing up, not enough views, nobody's showing up to the live. What if they don't show up? What if they don't like what I say?
Yeah.
What if they criticize whatever? And that's all rejection in some way, in form. I firmly believe that. I honestly think that every one of us has that in some way.
For sure.
It might be easier for the two of us to be on a podcast or to speak in public, but maybe harder to write a book or I don't know.
Yeah, something else for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I do think the fear of rejection is such a huge factor in not sharing. I also still think it is linked to shame as well. Like, does my voice even matter? Or I'm too ashamed of what's happened to me to speak it out loud. So I think that's why it's so important to do the inner work first.
Definitely.
And to lay it all out in front of the Lord with community, with the ones that you trust first, process that, and then be released of that shame, because shame is not of God. That's the enemy trying to keep you captive and hold you in bondage. So once we're released from that, then being able to share. And then maybe that fear of rejection will still be there, but it doesn't have such a stronghold like as shame does.
I do see those so many people who are talented. They are able to share in the state of vulnerability and honesty. But when it comes to let's amplify what you're doing, they're like, oh, but what if nobody? And also because these, some people might be so successful in some areas of their life. So if they're not in this new thing, they're afraid that might damage their reputation or...
Very true.
That
makes sense.
Maybe invalidate. Is that a word?
Invalidate?
Yeah.
I think so. I think
invalidate whatever they had done before because this is new and it might not start as a hit as something else. And that's all. I still think that's all rejection.
I have totally felt that.
And I think I feel that about my book. I've been sitting on writing a book for 3 years.
Okay, yeah. And I've also been sitting on writing a book.
What if nobody buys it?
I wrote like
maybe we should write one together and go on a tour.
We should go on a writing retreat or something.
Oh yes.
Are you going to do a ghostwriter or are you going to write it yourself?
No, I'm going to write it myself.
Okay. I know, because I started writing it myself, but it's hard in writing the story because things do come up too, like in my own mind, because like you really get in depth.
But I have a literary agent and she like guides me.
Oh, nice.
I can share her with you. Okay, she's amazing.
Yes.
Because I started all business and then it went all God and then all motherhood. And then I'm like, how do I come back to business?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? So she's very good at like coaching me through it.
Okay, that would be
But I'm like
good.
writing myself, not ChatGPT, not another person.
No.
Like,
I would write it myself too because it's so personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also, no, that's a good point with the book. And like pivoting, it's almost like you are who you are with your agency. I am who I am with the Shift Creative, with brands and stages. And then now I'm doing the podcast. So it is like this pivot where it's like, oh, well, if this isn't as successful as the Shift Creative, like who am I? Like, am I a failure? Or what does this mean?
Yeah.
Or how long is it going to take for people to see me in this light? Is my voice valid in this arena versus being respected for being a creative, right? So even as an author, are people going to take my word? Are they going to be interested in what I have to say? So I think in each new avenue that we go into, there might be a new thing that pops up.
Yeah.
A new fear.
Yeah.
But I think if the more that we are grounded in our relationship with God and our why are we putting these things out into the world, and the more that we really know, it's what you said, what your dad said. We build and God sows. No,
we sow. The harvest is in God's hands.
Thank you. Yes, we sow and the harvest, God brings, right?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then all we are called to do is show up.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Exactly.
And it's going to reach who God wants it to reach. Just like this podcast. It's going to reach who God wants it to reach. Just like your book. It's going to reach who God wants it to reach. And I think if we really internalize that, it kind of eliminates the fear.
It does. Because it puts the responsibility of the result in God's hands.
1000%.
We work. My pastor said that the other day. We work. We obey. How did he say it? God does. I'm going to find it. But it's something like that. We obey. God brings the results. We don't come and we make results.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
The impact, the amplification of the message. The word of God cuts through everything and it goes deep into the heart, which is something that for the best communicator of us humans, we can't do. So, and he could use a donkey, right? He can use me. He can use you. He can use whoever Moses. He wants.
Yeah.
And so, but showing up is what's ours to do. And just as everybody's saying lately, Noah was crazy until he wasn't. So if God has put something in your heart, if God has put something in your mind, it might be a silly project, a big project, a scary project. If it is of God, your job is to obey. And God's going to bring the harvest, the results, the fruits. Yeah.
Keep showing up. I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing today and kind of having this little chat with me. I loved it. And I know that so many people will be able to relate to this. And I hope that
armor up for the comments.
No. But like I really do think it's super relatable, and I appreciate your time. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me again. It's a pleasure.
Yes, of course. Yay! Thank you for listening to Shift Happens. You are the reason I started this podcast. I hope it finds the ears and hearts of those who need it, so that your voice matters and you are reminded that someone needs to hear your story. As always, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And I'll see you next week.